What's up, everyone? What's up, YouTube? How are we doing today? My name is Stuba, and today we are having a little bit of a deep dive into Void 3.0. Earlier this week, Bungie released a Vidoc, and then shortly after that, they released an article on their website, which I will pop the link in the description down below for you so you can read properly. With a complete breakdown of Void 3.0 and what things mean, and all the subclasses as well. So it's really, really interesting. Big shout out though to the guys over at Destiny Overview on Twitter. They are absolutely fantastic. I'm going to put a link to their Twitter account down in the description below as well. They basically take your TWABs, your major releases and everything. They break it down and they put it into nice little images like the one you see on screen, for you to just so you don't, just for like nice, quick, easy reading. So we're going to go through everything that Void 3.0 brings. So with Void 3.0, we are going to get 3 debuffs and 3 buffs. Now these are buffs that are already in the game, but they will be accessible, I believe, from what I'm hearing, to every single character. So every character will have an ability, every class will have an ability to debuff and apply one of these buffs to themselves. The first one we'll talk about is Suppress. Now, this was only originally available on Titan through Suppressor Grenades. Target is taken out of any active ability when suppressed. While suppressed, target can activate any abilities or movement modes. Combatants are disorientated. So, as a lot of people know, if they played Titan or encountered a Suppressor Grenade Titan in the Crucible, that means no supers, no nades, no double jumping. I believe, I don't even think you can run, but I'm not 100% sure because it's been a while since I've actually been suppressed. So pretty much everything is disabled for a limited time. I think it's 10 seconds, I could be wrong. Next one is Volatile. Again, this, I believe, was available only on Titan with the controlled detonation perk from Middle Tree Sentinel, but I could be wrong. I could be completely talking out my ass. Target will explode and avoid detonation upon taking additional damage. If the target dies before Volatile has taken enough damage to detonate, the detonation happens anyway. So this was good on Middle Tree Sentinel if you were using something like a Void Wall Grenade or something that you could get a few red bar adds with the Volatile debuff, and it's just made a metric fuck ton of explosions. That's good. Weaken. This is basically your Oppressive Darkness perk. Target takes increased damage from all sources, slowed movement, and is disorientated. So, Oppressive Darkness looks like it's coming back in the way of, what I can hear, an aspect. We'll go into that a little bit later on. The buffs we're getting. Invisibility was only available on Hunter. I could be talking up my ass here. Player vanishes from sight and does not appear on radar. Dead simple. You're invisible. Devour. Only available on Warlock at the time. The player is immediately restored to full health upon activating Devour from any source and is granted grenade energy. When the player gets killed with Devour active, they are restored to full health, granted grenade energy, and the Devour buff time is extended. Now, I don't think Devour actually gave you full health. I believe it only gave you a percentage of health back. So that's huge. That's a buff to Devour. Overshield. It's pretty much self-explanatory, really. Player gains a protective barrier that immediately stacks on top of their existing health and shields and intercepts incoming damage. Overshield reduces the damage taken from PvE combatants. Grenades. All grenade abilities are now available for all classes, some of which are upgraded. For example, Vortex Grenades now actually suck enemies in, kind of like the way Tether works. Suppressor, Magnetic, Vortex, Void War Spike, Scatter, and Action Bolts available to all 3 Void classes. Fragment Previews. So these are your fragments that are also available, I believe are available to some. Echo Expulsion. Void ability kills, calls enemies to explode, gives you and plus intellect, which is gonna go well with something like Volatile. That'll pair really well with a Volatile. Someone like if you've got a Volatile buff on something. Echo of Provision. Damaging enemies with grenades grants melee energy. Gives you a plus ability, plus stat point to strength. We don't know what the plus stat points are going to be, by the way. We just know that it's going to be there. Again, good potentially for a melee build, maybe. Echo of Domineering. After suppressing a target, gain increased mobility for a short duration, and your equipped weapon is reloaded from reserves. Gives you an increase to your discipline. This is the big one for me. For me personally, as someone who is 75% sure I'm actually going to be starting off with Void Walker. Echo Undermining. Void grenades weaken enemies. So basically, that's oppressive darkness in the form of a fragment. That is what we're calling it. That's what a lot of people are calling it. So we'll move on to the next page. We're going to start breaking down the classes now. And I believe the first one is going to be the Titan. So the Sentinel Titan, they've split Ward of Dawn and Sentinel Shield into 2 separate supers. So you either pick Ward of Dawn or Sentinel Shield. So there's no... And they've... from looking at the... if you watch the Vidoc from Tuesday, they've increased the speed, the casting speed of Bubble. It's like really, really quick now. Instead of... You've got that long delay before the bubble goes down. It tends to do it dead quick. Functionality on change. I think the functionality says functionality on change. I'm hearing, from what I'm hearing, the damage buff that Weapons of Light gives is being reduced to 25% from 30%. Possibly could be wrong, but that's... I'm pretty sure plenty of other content creators will test that after Void 3.0 and Witch Queen comes out. Sentinel Shield, traverse battlefield, back and foe with a Void Shield or toss of the shield as melee attacks. Thrown shields with damage opponents and apply Volatile. If Controlled Demolition aspect is equipped, where Shield Bash kills will grant a full Overshield. So they've changed the way Sentinel Shield works a little bit, so I like that. Melee, Shield Toss, a new one for the Titans. Void subclass is getting a throwable melee ability. A bit like the throwing hammer. Instead of throwing a solar hammer, you're throwing a shield. Throw your shield towards enemy. The shield can ricochet off enemies and surfaces, granting you a small chunk of revealed Void Overshield for each enemy hit. So if you got surrounded by Thrall and you chuck that, you're going to get a big Overshield. Aspects. Here we go. Controlled Demolition. Hitting a target with a Void ability or Volatile detonation will make them volatile. So that's going to pair with one of the fragments really, 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 really well. Bastion. Casting a barricade generates Overshield for yourself and nearby enemies. Those bunkering behind the shield will regenerate Overshield over time and extend the Overshield's duration. I don't know about that one. I'd say I'm not really... Personally, I'm not really the defensive kind of guy. I'm normally in your face, all in balls out, gung-ho player. Offensive Bulwark. While you have an Overshield or an inside bubble, Ward of Dawn, grenades charge significantly faster, and you have increased melee damage. You also gain an additional shield throw for your Sentinel Shield super. So basically, you can throw a Sentinel Shield, melee somebody, get the Overshield, and get a... That could be paired well with Doomfangs. That might pair well for Doomfangs. And like it says at the bottom here, all 7 grenades are available. So, right, next one, I believe, is going to be the Hunter. So we're moving on to Night Stalker. Night Stalker has 3 supers here. Spectral Blades remains unchanged. Mobius Quiver, 2 volleys of 3 void arrows in a cone which seek out enemies and spawn void anchors on impact. Shadow Shot makes tethered enemies volatile. Ooh, that's a new one. So the hunters are going to get the volatile thing. Interesting. That's going to be curious. And deals increased damage to tethered targets and now pulls enemy towards it when it impacts a surface or a target. Right, okay, so basically it works the same as it did, but instead of firing like 8 shots, you're going to get 2 volleys of 3, so 6. I wonder how that's going to work with the... I wonder how that would work with Orpheus rigs. That's going to be interesting to test that out with Orpheus, to be fair. Deadfall retains functionality and now pulls enemies towards the void anchor when it impacts a surface or target, which it never did. Did in D1. It never. I don't think it really did in D2. I think it just sort of they had to be surrounded by it and they stayed in that area. But I thought, nah, I could be wrong. Anyway, melee snare bomb also now weakens enemies in PvP. Players caught a snare bomb will have HUD removed and obscuring screen applied. So basically, it's suppress. It looks like a suppression kind of thing. Interesting. Trapper's ambush player can activate a quick fall to spend their melee charge and dive to the ground, creating a smoke cloud upon impact. Enemies caught in the cloud are weakened. Basically, yeah, and allies become invisible. In addition, snare bombs upon attaching to surface or enemies cause nearby allies to become invisible. So there's still your snare bomb is still going to send you invisible. But if you throw it at enemies, it actually weakens them instead of just blinds them. That's good. That's a good addition. I like that. Vanishing step, dodging makes Hunter invisible. So they're taking the ability to the top tree ability to just dodge and invisible and making you have an aspect. I like it. I like it. Stylish execution and defeating a void debuff target. So any void debuff, whether it's weakened, suppressed, or volatile, gives invisibility and true sight. This is a little bit of a play on middle. What used to be middle tree. You had to be crouched and get headshots to get true sight, but now you just have to kill a. That's a good change. While invisible, and after a stylish execution, your next melee attack weakens enemies. Hunter might be good to play. I've not played Hunter properly since Middle of Shadowkeep. I think that was the last time I actually played Hunter properly, but it might be worth dusting the old cloak off and giving it a good try this next when Beyond Light, Jesus, when Witch Queen comes. And finally, this is what I'm leaning more towards, to at least to start with Witch Queen, because this is how I started my Destiny journey back in 2014 over on the Xbox, on the old Xbox One. Void Walker Warlock update. Nova Warp is unchanged, which we knew about. Nova Bomb Vortex. Nova Bomb will now draw enemies into the singularity it creates, damage them once inside. So basically, it's the same, but it gets enemies sucked. Nova Bomb Cataclysm. Nova Bomb travels across the battlefield and seeks out enemies. Detonations with shattered, small, and secret projectiles, and shooting the Nova Bomb will cause it to detonate. So basically, that's your top tree. That's top tree, middle tree, bottom tree. Be interesting to see. We're just going to skip back before we go into the aspects. Be interesting to see if Titans at some point get a third super here, because Warlocks and Hunters have both got 3 different supers there. Titans do not. Titans only have the 2. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually at some point feel like they have to add a third one in. Anyway, Void Walker, melee, pocket singularity, middle tree. This is the middle tree melee. No, it's not. I'm absolutely talking out my ass. I'm really, really talking my ass. Launch a tracking unstable ball of void energy that detonates when near. Oh, so that's yeah, right. Okay, I'm talking out my ass. Okay. So that puts volatile debuff on enemies. Yeah. Chaos Accelerant. This was, I believe, a perk from Top Tree Void Walker. Hold down grenade button to overcharge your Vortex Action Bolt, Scatter, and Magnetic Grenades. Magnetic Grenades overcharge into handheld Supernova. Okay. That's good. That's new. I like that. I'd still probably use Vortex, because there is a new... You add that with Controverse Hold, and I believe there's if we scoot, so Vortex Grenade, Chaos Accelerant, go back to the main screen, and we add that with Controverse Hold, which is already pretty powerful. You bump that on it, and you bump that on it. I'm pretty sure I heard that there also was one that was there an exotic that comes out that's buffing grenades? Or am I imagining that? I could be imagining that. Anyway. Feed the void, defeat an enemy with a void ability to activate Devour. So, Devour is no longer, by the sound of this, Devour is no longer activated by ripping your grenade. You have to kill someone with a void ability like a melee or a Nova Bomb or a Nova Warp or any void ability. You have to use the actual ability itself and kill an enemy with it. That's probably better, to be fair. This is one I'm curious about. This is the one I'm... Cast your Rift to summon a Void Soul. When you damage an enemy with your weapon, your Void Soul will launch itself towards them, detonate nearby, attaching draining tendrils which deal damage and weaken the target. When your Void Soul deals damage, it restores melee or grenade energy if you're running a Healing Rift, or health if you're running an Empowering Rift. Defeating an enemy who is being drained grants Rift energy. I'm thinking that and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, so I'm going to let you find it out for your own, because I was going to do a video on the new exotics, but I'm not. There's a new Warlock exotic coming out, Warlock Boots. That, with the new Warlock Boots, is probably going to be broken. So, but that's it. That's our overview of what's coming in Void 3.0. Thank you very much for watching. Huge shout out once again to Destiny Overview on Twitter. Again, link down in the description below, for providing these. Not just to me. They post it on their own Twitter account, but for providing these awesome graphic updates. Give them a follow, guys, because they just simplify things. So, like, say if you're reading the TWAB and you're not understanding something, these probably make it a little bit more simple. So, once again, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you on Tuesday for Reset Day, for the last week before Witch Queen. And that's it. I'm out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take it easy.